10 seconds
The
remaining.
final tribe, well, get a bit of a hexer of their own.
5
Line with that
seconds
instant
remaining.
disable. Very squishy, of course. But, well, there's a good amount of burst damage here, especially again against the Winter Wyvern. Also against Bounty and Shadow Shaman, they're squishy heroes in their own rights. So, having that Finger of Death, if you can find the right situations, if you can play around that as much as you can, and then you can start
Radiant
fueling it up, of
team
course.
pick.
It's a very long cooldown, level 1.
Rancer.
Now the PL, that's a good response, I think. Nigma can sometimes catch him in the black hole, which is not ideal, of course, but at that point you're just gonna have to rely on your teammates. Plenty of disables, and even if Enigma does get the black hole, it's not gonna be enough with the Winter Wyvern there, of course, as long as the Winter
10
Scourge is still
seconds
available.
remaining.
Beyond that, maybe a Hex or Shackle from the Shadow Shaman, but
5
even a Bounty
seconds
Hunter with the
remaining.
track on the Enigma, you can just showy toss some random unit, and it'll bounce over, cancel the black hole. So there's plenty of ways for NiP to deal with that for a long time. PL, also one of these heroes that I mentioned earlier, good against the Batrider. And it's going to be a task for Lion to just find the right angle. You know, sometimes you get the stun on a couple of these illusions, you find out who the real one is, start zapping him down as well, but the Hex in particular is not necessarily going to be super useful. And yeah, if you don't have enough help in that situation as the Lion, then Phantom Lancer, once you get the Fused Blade, a couple of stat items, Manta style, these kind of things, you just start running these people down very easily. So
Dire
that is
team
certainly
back.
your mid to late game solution here, your insurance. Already taken care of, but the Monkey King, first right click core from the final tribe being revealed here is the 4th pick. Can be run in mid, of course.
10 seconds remaining.
But might just see the mid pick
5
in the 5th
seconds
slot
remaining.
here. NiP can still react to it with their own mid, which is
Radiant team banned.
probably why they went for heroes that aren't exactly all that flexible. My PL mid is not unheard of, but it's only a specific set of matchups that he can really shine in. And I don't think Monkey King is one of them, just put it that way. So NiP will pick up their mid in the last slot as well. Which means the final tribe will probably want to go for something relatively safe. Think about the heroes like OD.
Remaining.
They tend to do quite well in mid. Oh, they actually banned it out themselves. Alright.
Team pick.
Fine, go for the tiny. Makes things a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? Played a tiny against OG in the last game. 56 minutes. That was a long one, but they did end up losing it. Was Hanskin playing
10
that?
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
What is the Chessie hero on this one? I would still assume Enigma 3, Batrider 4, Line 5, so it has to be core tiny, doesn't it? Or they still run the Batrider 3, which I don't know, I'm not really much of a fan of, honestly. Then they would also put, what, the Enigma mid?
Venom
NiP though. Well, one of these things that I mentioned, NiP, they do like to run some unconventional heroes. Venomancer is certainly also one of them. They did run it against Alliance 2 days ago in the first game that they played, won that in 40 minutes or so. But yeah, Chessie Tiny, alright, yeah, core Tiny. Bit of a throwback here. You get it? Throw? Because he has a... okay, never mind. Era Line, Hanskin on the Enigma. Super Batrider, alright, alright. I can dig it. I can dig it, as they say.
10 seconds remaining.
Then again, I'm not sure if the Batrider has a core role when picking it up this early is just means that there's always going to be a solution for it. At the same time, maybe you can actually mix up the lanes a little bit. Try and find that matchup of the Monkey King versus the PL. In which case, this could work out quite nicely. So we'll see what the laning situation is going to be like. Because, I mean, beyond the laning stage, of course, Batrider is always going to be useful. Having that, probably Boots of Travel, drums, something like that. To the later Blink Dagger, that's normally the build that we see. But either way, you have a lot of movement speed, you're going to get in range for that last, so you will be able to bring people back into the Monkey King clicking away, or into his ultimate, into a Tiny Burst, into Lion Burst. Like, there's a lot of good ways of picking people off, and none of the heroes of Ninjas and Pyjamas really have any good way of dealing with that, I don't know, in and of itself, or just ways of tanking it up, so to speak. That point just gonna come down to initiation, gonna come down to execution. Teamfight wise, both sides of course have really nice a few nice little spells, you know. Black Hole on a long cooldown, Winter's Curse, not so much. But this Venom Answer also one of these things that can just ruin your day straight up. Bada taking that one to the mid lane, so you're gonna get the levels.
Wonderful.
And which also means that you're probably gonna need someone to build a pipe sooner rather than later. If you can find this matchup here, Xibber versus the Bounty Hunter in that off lane, and Monkey King up against the Phantom Lancer, I think you're gonna come out ahead. So if anything, NiP will want to try and figure out what exactly the case is here. 3 just walks in. He went for the Invis level 1, not too common, but it certainly helps you secure this. Yeah, find out this information that you're looking for. You see the Monkey King courier running about, even blocking a camp. Blocking a hard camp on this side here, so Hanskin can't really effectively jungle in here anymore. Till they
30 seconds to battle.
Till they block that out. They actually caught 33. Just on the edge of the vision there. Be very quiet, they say. Don't let him know we see him. Not sure he realizes. If you paid attention to Era, you might have seen him turn around, place down the ward. Either way, he's sitting up on the rune spot. Be able to secure that one. Extra stun from Frost. Actually, not enough to secure, or a little bit too early to secure the bounty rune up against PPD. So 3-for-1 exchange for NiP. Very nice indeed. And level 3 is going to take some damage in turn. But it does look like NiP, of course, they made the rotation. It's a little bit late on this, but I might be missing out on some experience here. Another camp being blocked. No pull's gonna be happening, and yeah, I mean, NiP have all the time in the world. A few CS here and there, bit of a deny. Era's coming in to at least get the experience from the range creep. Do a bit of damage to Ace actually, but oh. There's no way it actually turns into anything, but slight advantage just being able to push the creep wave under the tower like this to make sure that the lane is in a much more favorable position for NiP. But hey, guess what? Immediately TP out to have that matchup against Batrider. So the thing is, NiP pulled the TP trigger first. So of course, naturally, the final tribe can't just match that movement immediately, and that was going to be one TP ahead. The final tribe, they want these musical lanes for the time being. No sticks heads on any of these heroes. The only difference is that Era can actually TP up for 20 seconds. The Frost will be alone for the moment, but honestly, as long as it stays into a 1v1, and PPD can't really help all that much. I mean, he's a Winter Wyvern. Arctic Burn is nice and all, but it's not too threatening, and it's also on a very long cooldown.
This bounty is not free.
So far so good, Vater. 9-0 to 11-4. So in mid, we already see a bit of an advantage brewing for Chessie, just because of this last hit's advantage, which is being offset now by the Venomancer picking up the DD rune, so it's always gonna be nice. Curious to see what kind of build Vater goes for, if he just goes for a classic 2-2 and then max out the Plague Wards. If he wants to focus more on the Venomous scale, I'd imagine just the Plague Ward sooner rather than later, just because even with high levels on Venomous scale, I'm not sure if you can just straight up kill the Tiny. I mean, worst comes to worst, you just TP out, right? Unless there's someone rotating in to cancel it. It's not really gonna do the trick for you. But yeah, Hanskin, of course he can't jungle in the side jungle here because of this ward blocking up the camp, but he can still jungle in his own proper jungle. Which does mean that he's not in a range to really help out Frost if necessary, or maybe even go in for a bit of a gank or a push or anything. But it also means that he's not really going to be slowed down, so it's basically a lot more efficiency coming out from that position as line. Era actually being caught out, slowed down, so it might actually be the first blood here, a lot of damage being done, and indeed Ace.
You've just
Aiming that for himself.
Thanks and have fun.
Few too many heroes for a single line to deal with.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Thank you.
Mid, oh god, Chassis. Maybe I spoke too soon. Vater actually going in very deep, gets tossed back towards the Great Wave. Chassis has no more region left. There's something flying out on the courier, that's gonna be a salve. Yeah. It's kind of what you would expect here with a few levels coming in though. You shouldn't really be able to kill them. Or to kill the Tiny. Unless Chassis overextends or misjudges things a little bit, but the more levels you get, of course, the more harassment damage you can do. And this is how you get back ahead.
Invisibility.
This is where last hit's disadvantage doesn't really, or isn't really all that impactful anymore. Does leave us with a 1v1 down bottom. 33, of course, he did pick himself up. That stick. It's a few Janata hits in, and once in a while up top. And to find Shackles again on the line. Nice little dodge there on Frost, but he's unable to really help out his friend.
Wing wide. All is as it should be.
That's also one of these, one of the impacts of having a dedicated jungler like this. I mean, sure, you're gonna get a lot out of this Enigma. Like, he's getting a lot of free money, essentially, and free experience that you're not taking away from anyone else on your team. But it also means that your lanes are that much weaker. Right? Frost making the rotation at bottom now as he realizes, well, up top, a little bit too dangerous. Line can't really help me. So looks like he might be designated top laner for a little bit. It also means that you're not really don't really have the ability to slow down a bounty hunter. Level 3 doesn't really have to worry. Era also limited in his potential to stabilize the lane. So it is that trade-off that you have to deal with. And bottom line is Ace hasn't really been worried too much about the Monkey King. As a result, 28 and 15 to the 22 and 2 in Frost. Taking quite a bit of damage here as they're committing for Zoe. 1, 2, 3. Saxas shows up again with the Shackles. And yeah, I mean, 3 against 1. That's like, what, the third time? This time on an actual 3-position core rather than just a support, so that'll be helpful. Chessie, try to go for tossback, I think. Vater a little bit too far away. Era. Nice play. Denying the rune there to Chessie's bottle. But yeah, beyond these couple of kills, not much else is really happening. As I say that though, Frost actually going ham, but it does find the Projingo Mastery, gets a nice little boundless strike to heal himself back up. Yeah, not much is happening. Everyone else kind of just happy to farm away. Instead of just going aggressively for all these kills. I mean, even NiP, these couple of kills that they got on top lane, again, those are just more or less defensively. Those were just a reaction to Final Tribes heroes overextending. It did allow them, or did its part to stabilize the top lane. Certainly did its part to make sure that NiP could actually secure themselves a nice little 2k gold lead early on in the game. Sip is back, and once again, Saksa with the shackles. He's not sitting in the fire. Ace is, but I don't think he cares right now. Sipper jumping lower and lower and lower and too low. Didn't even need the Winter Wyvern this time around. PPD. He's hanging around bottom, soaking some experience. As 33? Only level 5, so no track rotations just yet. He was looking for Enigma. Hanskin and Era, they smoked up themselves and making a rotation, a wraparound towards mid lane. Jesse can't really help out, there's quite a few wards, level 3. Kinda hard to go into, but now they have to reveal themselves. Father, out of mana. Starts off to the side, nice little drag back into the Hex, into the Malefice. It should be that Venomancer. Sooner or later, especially, yeah, of course, with the Helm Creep. Helping out significantly.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, good rotation.
Radiant's
NiP,
top
not
tower
quite
is
ready
under
for that
attack.
angle. Had to go into the River of Death, which there's no escape from.
Dire's structures are
Hey, now
fortified.
Enigma says, hey, alright, I've got my farm, I've got my helm. Let's try and leverage that situation. 33 goes in with Haste June, gets another nice little hit off on Chassis. More and more TPs into this mid lane. They want to keep his towers alive. The Finder Shackles are one tiny. Chassis taking so much damage here. He's trying to walk away. No more stick charges. They just used them, it's just not enough. Too slow. Not furious enough either, so. All of these lanes kind of, or certainly in the mid lane, immediately repaired. Venomancer sitting at 3.4k. 2.6k only of Chassis, so it's a huge victory there. Ace is getting all the farm in the world. He's going straight for the Diffusal Blade. 33. Level 6 now, so you're very happy to rotate around, try and create some chaos, which also means that your supports have a chance to take this experience bottom. Shadow Shaman level 6 gonna be coming in, it's gonna be coming in very soon. And it's also gonna be coming in very handy to bring down these early towers. Question is, what does NiP do against? What does TFT do against this? Like, I don't think the lanes worked out quite as well as I would have hoped. So they have a lot of eggs in the Hanskin basket right now. To try and re-establish some momentum, perhaps. I mean, they can still farm and play for the later part of the game. Okay, they just find the black hole on the Phantom Lance on the high ground. They have to follow from Era. Plenty of stuns between the three of them. That's one way to do it. They had a ward up there, so they knew exactly what was going on. Ace pings it out. He did not expect it at all, and I wouldn't have either, honestly, but hey. Good call. Exactly what I was talking about, yeah? Using that black hole, it's a long cooldown, but if you're not going to use it this early on, like, you can make all the arguments that you want about the threat of the black hole, but it doesn't really apply 10 minutes into the game, so you'd rather use it to get a kill. Certainly super important kill like that. It was high time that they slowed down his Phantom Lancer somewhat. Still more than halfway to the Diffusal Blade, so his damage output is going to be rising soon. But with this massive commitment here with Catapult, it's very easy tier 1 tower kill. Down bottom, the Soaken Wards have been committed with their own catapults, so they will be able to match this particular trade.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower.
You know, Father, just doing Venomancer things, you know.
Dire's
This is what you do. You spam wards until eventually your tower goes down. Then you move on to a different lane or to the jungle or whatever. He's going for the Atos as well, like so many mids and off lane sometimes go for SL. Nice little toss back. Who needs a blink dagger, he says. If I have the Tiny, bring it up to the high ground. Does get the ultimate off of 3 different heroes, but well, speaking of ultimates, Era gets himself the first stack, but now he has a TP on out of there. Should be fine at home.
Radiant are scanning.
That's one way to do it. I was talking about the pickup potential now, especially if they can advance on 33. There's no stomp available for the centaur, but Chessie with the rotation, avalanche slowing him down. He is freaking fast, but not fast enough. Punishing NiP for being a bit too far forward.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This is what I was looking for. Final Tribe leveraging their strength switches in the pick off Frost. Of course, you can still keep track of the real Phantom Lancer with Jingu Mastery. The Frost wasn't never really going to be too much trouble in. They even get the tower denied mid.
Middle tower has been denied.
Still kind of low, PPD, unable to really... I actually could have maybe gone for some play with a stick and a Winter's Curse. Catch a few of them, but it's a lot of Final Tribe heroes hanging around. Xibber, regen just a little bit. Yeah, this is really just a precautionary measure here in case they go on Chassis. They don't really have the lasso on. Under 10 seconds only, but no finger of death either. Kind of moving like they want to smoke up though. They have one available on Era. NiP though, I mean, they beat them to the punch. Sarks are leading the charge. And they might fang Xibber here. And yeah, they do. The Hex comes through. Ether Lens on Shadow Shaman, very useful indeed. But Stun comes through, and Era offers himself up as a sacrifice here. The Winter's Curse keeps Batrider in place for a little while, so Ace can make his way in with the Phantom Rush. Very fast indeed. And the Fusion Blade coming into action. A lot of damage to work with indeed. Vessel kills now. TFT, they're hanging around inside the jungle, 33. Literally keeping track of them.
Is under attack.
And they do have the Shaman Ward, so they can make a play on this tower here. Try. I'm not sure you want to go in to defend this one. I mean, you can start farming some of these up, all your summons,
Dire's top tower
as well as the...
under
Oh,
attack.
and how creepy, you don't want to give that up. Oh, 200 gold. I think Saksa got that up here. The Lasso comes in. Hanks will not stop, but Chessie with the follow-up avalanche. Vata gets a nice little ultimate off though, and a couple of heroes with the Atos trying to do as much damage as he can before he does fall to the flames. Hanskin will be the trading Xibber, probably has the TP back home. Meanwhile, okay, Frost and Era work together. They catch Phantom Lancer. Now to look for more. Saksa finds the Hex here, does have the Shackle, but of course it also disables himself. Not really all that helpful. Up against the Monkey King, who's not quite fast enough, but he does have another tree jump available in a second. Does not want to dive the tower though. So, it's gonna let Saksa go. A bit of back and forth. Tower took half damage. Net worth just crossed the 0 line right there if you paid attention. Experience well in favor of Final Tribe actually, and this is again in part due
Dire's middle tower
to the
is
Enigma.
under attack.
Do get him after all. Frost in a bit of trouble now as he has to fight against Ace. I don't think there's a way out of this one here, certainly not. Atos coming in, all the reinforcements. Not really worth, certainly considering that Chessie was just trying to help. Maybe just trying to secure the bounty run. Which he did, so hashtag space created, hashtag worth, all of these things, you know. 2 cores going down like this just for Shadow Shaman. Yeah, it is very back and forth.
Radiant are
The fact remains, despite the deaths here from Ace, he's still hitting creeps like there's no tomorrow. He's got a good number of kills to his own name right now. So this PL is a force to be reckoned with. They will need to spend
Dire's top tower
things like
is
Black
under
Hole on him
attack.
in the future as well. Which again isn't all that easy to do, considering that there's so many things that can stop it, and also not easy to do if you're just straight up dead. But actually turning this around on Hanskin, engaging into the Eidolons. Metal Storm of course to cancel that Shackle as well, yeah. Hanskin? He's gonna live here. I mean, there's a dust to keep track of 33, just a bit of extra damage, and that'll be enough to find that Trackle, but at what cost? All this Vanmount is Xibber had enough time to commit on him, but now more reinforcements, PPD slowing him down a little bit further, nice little nuke, and the damage over time is enough
Thanks for playing Dota 2.
from the Urn. So, double kill for 33. over those track kills, so yeah, they came out even. 1,000 gold from that alone on him. That's a yikes. Chelsea with the blink, so kind of expect the Tiny to try and be a little bit more aggressive now. Try and join in with these pickoffs. I mean, it's gonna have to be the name of the game for them still. Blink in, avatars, era is close by, or close enough for the finger of death. Into the black hole to turn around. Again, black hole. As long as NiP is on top of it, they should always be able to cancel it. It's going to be down to PBD mostly, but I've been talking about that before. Many things that can cancel it. They get rid of the high ground vision. Can they get the deny here? They can actually. So that's a second tower deny coming in the face of Shaman Walls too. So not necessarily easy to pull off, but it's a lot of money that NiP was kind of relying on to push them to the next level. Not so much on Ace, of course, but certainly on the other heroes. Fata is kind of keeping up there, 6.5k net worth. Despite the track kills, 33, not as found as you could expect from a 3-position bounty hunter at this point, and certainly supports also want more money. Atos actually connecting on Monkey King. Does get the ultimate off, but he's all alone. Frost needs some help, or does he? Well, doesn't have the heals ready to go, but he needs someone to click to actually do that with. But for now, Mechanism is going to do the trick here with the Winter Curse, keeping him in place. But what the hell? PPD just immediately dies to the Wukong's command. Frost just barely survives. That was very close indeed. Hanskin with that Mechanism. Right place, right time. You get 2 kills there as Shadow Shaman dies somewhere else entirely. Chessie, yeah, okay. Blink combo. All that it takes at that point. Now picking up this tier 1 tower. Not a lot of health points left on this one. NiP. Okay, nice little glyph. Not sure if that toss would have been enough to straight up snipe it. Maybe they can get that denied too, unless Tiny wants to blink in for it. Big place? Not just yet. Not actually denying it just yet. Instead, they're grouping up as if they were smoked, but they're not. I don't think they don't have any smokes available right now, but they're still invading into the Radiant side jungle. There's no vision available this far forward. But strong ward, this is high ground vision that PPD will figure out now as well. So final try. Know exactly what's going on. They mirror the movement going up towards the Dicer jungle instead. Let's farm up a little bit more there. Just mean that they will give up this tier 2 and they're not quite in position to actually trade for the tier 2 top, even though that's kind of low right now. So Frost might be able to just put that over the edge, unless there's a reaction, which there is. Only Saxa for now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
With the mid tower, nicely
Dire's
done.
middle tower has fallen.
Drive by from the Eidolons. Saxa revealed himself now, and yeah,
Radiant's
Exhibit.
middle tower is under attack.
Again, he doesn't have a blink, but he's super freaking fast. Easy kill indeed into a tier 2 tower push. Tier 3 down bottom, yes, that's gonna be absolutely fine. No heroes actually taking care of it. So NiP, they were in a position where they could have traded quite nicely if they only knew that final try. They're committing so much up in the top lane. They're now coming back towards mid. I mean, Catapult is walking away.
Dire's top tower is under
Do a significant amount of damage, but look at this. Final Trap actually chipping away at top, finally forcing Dire's side to come back. And
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
couple of tracks. Not enough sentries here. They have dust available. There's a sentry near the shrine. There's a CP. And oh no! Jebaited! It got jebaited here. To find 33. And oh, this goes actually keeps him alive a little bit longer. Eidolons going back in. Frost with the zoning Wookiees commanders. Ace comes in, focuses on Chessie. Magnus keeps him alive for now, but so much damage being done. No more mana as just trying to take the Hanskin does find it, and they just have to leave Chessie behind. That was quite the odd fight. I mean, he's cancelling a TP in the last second. I'm sure 33 actually threw the shoey toss against the black hole. Either way, it was not gonna catch anyone. Yeah, a couple of ultimates expended, mostly on the side of Final Drive, of course. I mean, black hole, very long cooldown. Wukong's command, decent cooldown here, kind of not quite matching up with Winter's Curse. Question is, what can you do with this timing now? Can you go for Roche? I mean, it's gonna take a while. You don't have mines. Oh, okay, you're also not gonna have 33, most likely. Frost starting to click away at it. There's a bit of a heal coming in from the Cold Embrace, but it's still burning inside the fire. But not really feeling comfortable engaging into this. There's Father, Ace, everyone coming by, and Frost start dying off to the damage over time. They do get 33, but at what cost? They're also gonna lose Patrider here. Zibba linking in to help make that work. Jesse was the one who got lasted, and he's also the one who to get himself away from there, thankfully.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
5-man rotation here towards this top shrine area. Final Trapper not quite ready to respond. So that's going to be a free tier 2 going the way of an NiP.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Again, Roche is not really easily on the cards, even with 2 heroes on the sidelines. If you had the Serpent Ward still, you could commit them for that.
Is under attack.
But it's still not gonna be a quick Roche. They always gotta worry about the Wukong's command and Tiny comboing in on a couple of heroes. On the flip side, I mean, it's not gonna be much easier for the side of Final Tribe, honestly. It'll also take a while. What's he got? Just some wards. Arrow level 13, so closing in at that level 15 where I get the GPM. Which is going to come in handy. I mean, that allows you to transition eventually into the Ags, into the Blink. Desperately craving that right now, sitting below 2k net worth, which is kind of unfortunate. But hey, that's the life of a 6th position support, right? Hanskin's being more of a 3-roll here, this utility-focused hero with a nice little catch. See the Sentry Ward. I mean, he's more of a this traditional aura carrier, 3rd position, right? You've got the Mech, you've got the Pipe of Insight that I was talking about, and now going into the Guardian Greaves, so he'll be able to keep people alive. Maybe he goes into Vlad's afterwards. Or any of these bigger items. Like Shiva's Guard could come in very, very handy, for example, up against the Phantom Lancer. There's plenty of options for a hero like that to take. Or maybe just go BKB and just try and play around the Winter's Curse. That'd also be an option. Then you have the Batrider, of course, who went for the 4-staff.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
If anything, Zibba is more of a 4th position right now. The big problem is that Chessie is kind of starting to fall behind. He went for this Echo Saber now, only now going into the BKB. But he's really struggling in the middle of these fights, like with the slows from the Fusel Blade, all of this extra damage being taken. Not to mention the Venomancer as Era. Reaching him up on high ground here. Vanskin does have the Black Hole available, but it's not going to have mana for it. Winter's Curse gives him place for Ace to walk away at that. Hanskin down for the count first in exchange for PPD, and now Frost taking over. He has his own BKB, and now they just need to isolate the real Phantom Lancer. Ace off to the side, tossing an illusion back over. Can't quite find him. But NiP don't quite find an angle in, and now into the lasso. Frost needs to click like he's never clicked before, but Ace is so freaking tanky with a freshly completed art. He is still alive. Buybacks galore from both sides. Now might see a black hole coming in just now. 1, 2, 3. 2 heroes. Ace off in the sides, very alone. Diaz Chessie finds the punch. Frost will die in the end, but looks like they should be able to clean up a few more of these heroes. Father, ooh, is actually still alive. Everyone's so freaking slow as PPD rejoining that party. And Chessie, he's just taking out more damage over time. Random right clicks, and the toss actually finishes up a double kill. He is still alive, he's punching hard even without the tree, but not hard enough as it turns out. Father, all the slows coming into play, able to make his way away from Hanskin too, so this was looking for a second, like, Final Tribe. We're gonna win that fight, but damn, Ace. 3,000 health points to chew through.
Dire structures are fortified.
took so long to even identify the real Phantom Lancer, and then it took them even longer to try and finish him off. So no Serpent Wards or anything, so just normal Venom Wards, but they're still chipping away at this tower because they realize, well, there's no one that can stop us for now. Slight advantage being gained here for NiP. Still only a 4K net worth here. It's not insurmountable by any means, but we're starting to see what the hell is happening here. Frost pops the BKB, going on Fada. Meanwhile, Glass at the same time over on the Winter Wyvern. This one is just available, but there's no chance to get that off. Fada surprisingly tanky himself, so Frost unwilling to commit for a chase. Goes around, comes around, as it turns out. And did PPD buy back in that one? I feel like it did, yes he did, so 6 minutes on the sidelines, or 6 minutes on cooldown, same timer as Hanskin though. And
Dire's middle tower is under
going
attack.
for this tier 2. TB in on Ace. There's no lasso available though. That could have been a big kill. I mean, lasso him as he TPs in. Everyone else was piling on. They did have the finger, they did have Frost and Chessie ready to go. But alas, no lasso, no chance for that. It's okay. Zibble cancels TP himself, so realize, alright, can't go for the TP retreat. Just got to go in the old-fashioned way. Nickman caught inside the freaking Serpent Wands, and now Frost with the ultimate. They all have the Venom ult on them, but there's no more Venom to keep the fight going. Hans gets so freaking low, even with all of this. Okay, all of this region, all of this sustain, just enough to keep him alive, even through that Venom ult still taking him down. Of course, that is not lethal anyway. Damn, that was close. Very close indeed. So they get Fada. NiP unable to actually make that chase work the way they want it. This game still like 30 minutes in almost, still on a knife's edge. Roshan still completely ignored by both teams. Again, it's just way too risky to go for it, is it? That being said, there's a bit of vision established here from the Dire side, so Final Tribe wanted to try and make a play for it. NiP would know about it. It is more Echo Sabers, this time in the hands of Monkey King. Very useful, of course. I mean, this Wukong's command, as much as Ace is problematic for Final Tribe to deal with, Frost is also getting to the point where, at least when he has his ultimate, it's going to be very hard to fight into. Oxley looking for someone. Firefly not lasting long enough. They don't quite have the vision at nighttime to actually catch anybody. But this is basically what the ideal fight would look like for Final Tribe, right? You catch someone important, probably the Winter Wyvern, honestly.
Go for me.
Catch the Wyvern. And then burst down PPD. And then you have a much easier time relying on the rest of your lockdown, right? Suddenly once the Enigma finishes up that BKB, it's still gonna be a little while until Hanskin gets there. Well, so for now, this game is looking like it might be one of these late game scenarios coming up soon. Instead, is Blink Blast on to PPD. Chessie's there. Follow-up control if necessary. They don't even need the avalanche toss.
What's the opposite of regicide?
They just need, oh, Ace. It's actually very far forward. 33, Fada, Saxa, all of them around, but Hanskin just goes straight for the black hole. Phantom Lancer, well, that'll be cancelled now. Ace in the middle of the Wukong's command, in the middle of the Avatars, they gotta get the Phantom Lancer. And now they're looking for more. Frost immediately charging forward, does not have the Boundless Strike to cancel that TP though. But hey, well worth it. They committed a lot, but they realized, wait a second, NiP, they're out of position. There's a tiny opening, and they took it immediately. Again, no Winter's Curse makes it at least a little bit harder to cancel Black Hole. They got a couple of like 1 or 2 seconds out of it at most. But hey, that was enough for the rest of Final Tribe to catch up. And for the Wukong's command to start doing some damage, Chassis was in position. Follow-up burst. And now with Ace on the sidelines, actually going for a Roche. Again, not the fastest Roche in the world, not by a long shot. fast enough. Final tribe, back on the front foot here.
Your shaman has fallen into the radiant.
If you can keep finding these kind of fights, take out the Winter's Curse. This big combo breaker, you know, the big reset button on the team fight if PPD finds a good one. If you take that away, all of a sudden the rest of the team fight gets much easier because what else is there for NiP, right? I mean, sure, you can throw in the Venomancer and get a Gale, get an ultimate, but it's not gonna be effective until the fight goes longer, right? And even then, Enigma, as long as he's alive, he can delay that impact for quite a while with Pipe and Guiding Graves. And then what do you have? Single target lockdown. I mean, that's all you really have in a tanky Phantom Lancer. But if there's no Winter Wyvern, Final Tribe have so much more room to maneuver and leverage their own lockdowns. So, speaking of that, Shackles are long range here. 4-star drums, but the nuke comes through from Sarx. He will pay with his life. I think it's worth all trade. And oh god, the courier, no! TP is cancelled, follow-up hacks, so 33 is not gonna get away, even fuels up the Finger of Death just a little bit. Oh, it's been a while since we've seen it. I think that was a worthwhile trade. I think yeah, that was the Ogre Club from the Enigma, I do believe, on the courier. So 2.5 minutes until he has that. Should roughly coincide though with the rest of his BKB once he has enough money for that. Not the end of the world, but it will probably still mean that Final Tribe will not go high ground until that is online. Alright. So, we're talking about what the ideal fight of Final Tribe looks like. So far, they've been able to execute it a couple of times. For NiP, though, I mean, it's basically just Ace running in. He's tanky enough that he can't really be bursted down in within 1 or 2 seconds. So he needs to go in, then Winter Wyvern. PP is working on the Blink Dagger. Once he has that online, this kind of thing will be much easier. But basically, you're looking for the Winter Wyvern counter initiation. Then you track everybody up and try and focus down one target after the another, just on the back of the Phantom Lancer being unkillable. That's with the Butterfly now to help him in that task. They're all smoked up as 5. Ooh, Jesse. Picks himself up that Invis rune, and Frosty's just going right into the access, and Winter's Curse actually initiating on the Batrider, keeping him away. Frost, a lot of damage being done before he can get the open up, but now the turn on. Couple of heals here as they isolate 33. Heals from the Winter Wyvern as well. Keep him safe. Now Hanskin on the high ground, just working away at Fada, but he's still fine. Now Ace going for the next target. Hanskin, yeah, is still sitting on top, trying to find the lasso on the real one. They have the Black Hole available to control him up further. Nothing there to cancel it, but they need some sort of damage dealer. That's Frost coming back from the Aegis, but Ace, well, purging off that one. Hanskin should end up dropping sooner or later. As Frostfighter comes in, does have the Battle Fury, so he can start working away at these illusions, but Sarx are controlling him up for the time being. Era buying back, Chassis cancels that shackle. Hanskin alive for so freaking long, as now Frost finally finds a couple of right clicks into this bundle of illusions. Ace, Frost, he's actually taking quite a bit of damage from the mana burn. He's gonna lose his life. Ace, this time, he was able to kite them around for longer. He was able to stay alive. There was not enough focus fire during that black hole, during whatever lockdown they had for him. Because Frost was busy elsewhere. He was busy respawning these 5 seconds from the Aegis.
Regeneration.
It's such a huge difference there. And Chessie, I don't know what he was doing. Overall, I mean, we're still hovering around this 1k mark in the net worth department. Experience, still 10k in favor of TFT. Win probability, 60% for the Radiant still, so that is not a high number. AoE now being picked up by the Monkey King. Completed Mjolnir. Again, that was the best case scenario for NiP. These drawn-out fights that are all over the place. Now, where Ace gets some room to maneuver, where he does not get focused down. Because that's the thing, right? If Final Tribe, they need both. They need the lockdown, and they need the damage from either Chassis or Frost, or ideally both, to actually bring down this Phantom Lance at this stage. If they don't have that, or if they don't have both of those together, then it's just not going to be enough. Thing is, if you start to think about high ground, that's a situation where it's way more likely for Final Tribe to be close by each other. You are fighting around choke points, so it's going to be a lot harder to pull off that kind of a fight for NiP when you try to take these objectives. And that's what's going to have to come down to. Either you go for some weird split push with the Shadow Shaman kind of dropping wards on a tower on a different side, or you just push S5, drop the wards, and then try and take a team fight round one area. Either way, like unless you just die instantly, more or less, you're gonna get some tower damage done. But now, okay, with attacks, the Winter's Curse on Enigma. That's a good target. If they can bring him down, doesn't the Guardian Greaves to try and turn this around, but the Hex to follow means that they have enough burst. No Hanskin for this fight. Frost still positioned there for the Wukong's command. 33 is gonna be the trade. PPD also already bought back into this, but so both teams just gonna say, hey, alright, that's what we came for. Gonna repel each other. But Winter's Curse means that NiP won't really be able to take another fight like that. Cooldown roughly coincides with Enigma coming back, but they're actually being very bold right now. Because they also know, hey, there's no Wukong's command. Frost is actually not nearly as strong without that ultimate, so they drop the wards and work away at this tier 3 tower. They're gonna get that objective down. Bit of focus fire on the range tracks. They might be able to take that one. That's okay. They blink in, but didn't quite get Lasso off. Sibba, don't stop. Only illusions on him. They want buildings, still just want the range. They also want the melees. NiP looks like they're gonna get their wish. Maybe not. Back to region actually taking that in for a little while. A few more seconds for the Enigma. Chessie goes in. They're trying to slow that down. PPD down to half health. Force stuff back into safety, but they're not quite fast enough. Not quite strong enough to secure their racks. Alright. There was a certain risk attached to that, but NiP thought, well, that's certainly a worthwhile risk. Being able to take one of these big objectives off the map, knowing that there's not going to be a black hole. If there was a buyback, then you could still react and get the hell out.
Regeneration.
So now not only is mid going to push in by itself, the shrines are also open up, and one of them already taken down, in fact. The one ahead of Roche. 1 more minute until the big guy will come back. In the meantime, NiP gonna try to maintain as much map control as they can. They don't have a lot of ward vision around this Roche area, though. Whereas Hanskin, they certainly do. Freshly placed observer ward. Let's keep an eye on this ingress point. Ooh, look at that, man. Aghanim Scepter on the Shadow Shaman, so what is that? Split shot. Increases attack range. Also it's +1 max HP from level 20, so these wards are actually going to be super annoying to deal with. And again, it's going to come down to... it's a bit of a win condition. Again, you can just bang your head against the wall, drop the wards, let them do their work on the tower while you just engage the rest of the enemy team in single combat, really. Final Tribe, they need to be a bit more proactive. They need to be the ones executing, need to be the ones looking for and finding these opportunities for themselves, because NiP, they're not about to give them too many of them. They figured out what they need to do to stay safe. Final Tribe, they need to find some way to try and disrupt that. It's very, very hard. Maybe around that Roche. They know it's back up now. NiP might have an inkling as well. Fata will confirm it with a ward. So both teams know what's going on. Nigma should probably try and grab another creep. There's no other creep though, so this will be free 200 gold for Saxa. Oh, for Fata, sorry. Here we are though. Full 5-man smoke. That is a play that should be in everyone's playbook, right? This is nothing new, but it might still catch NiP off guard. They're sitting on the high ground, so that's good for them. They smoke up themselves, but oh, they might not be looking here. Blinks back and forth. They didn't actually find the lasso here, but Frost, good position for the Wookiees command. He gets it off. BKB's left, right, center. Hanskin looking perhaps for a black hole, and he gets it off on two, including the Phantom Lancer. And now Frost clicking away. Goodbye, Ace. Goodbye, PPD. Goodbye, Fata. Now they even found the Hex on the Shadow Shaman. Follow-up control. Jesse's there with big old punches and big old finger of death. That was a bit more awkward than I anticipated initially. And it looked like NiP, at least it dodged his initial blink lasso initiation. They were able to do the Delta split, but then they weren't quite ready to fight in that choke point. BKB's come out, all of the ultimates. PPD was also caught in the front lines here. And that's the exact opposite of what you want to be. Like, if these fights are gonna work, I touched on that before, like they're gonna need that winter growers, they're gonna need PPD to be able to counter initiate. Look at that. The good old bounty hunter split push actually doing a bit of work here on his bottom tower with the help of the siege creep and like what, 6 range creeps or something? Roshan will be in favor of Final Trap. They didn't use any no buybacks on either side, so many buybacks actually still available for both sides here. PPD is still on cooldown for 2 minutes. Also used that a little bit earlier. And we'll see how much else they can do. I mean, Roche took quite a while, but now they have the tree. Got a bunch of Eidolons. They do a decent amount of tower damage. Glyph will delay it somewhat, and 10 more seconds until PPD rejoins. That's a little bit too dangerous for a Final Trap to just bash their head against the wall right now.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
But hey, they did what I was asking of them, but now NiP might be able to find something here. Witness Curse on the Monkey King, but only lying on a couple of Eidolons clicking is down about half health, but now maybe they can take a fight. Wookiees command, Ace in the middle of that, no black hole available, but I don't know, my game's lagging here. Ace off to the side, Jesse was able to push him away. What Fata buyback from Lion. It's also big winners, the big Wookiees command with Frost, that one just ended. Looks like he might be able to not survive here. Aegis is down, Hardskin next on the list. Ace just going from one to the next. The Shackles are doing work on Chassis. Again, just goes to show how volatile this game is. Ace gets to do his thing and he just racks through everybody. Era. Oh no, it's going to be a dieback here. 33 finds him with a track on the side. Couple of stuns back and forth, but so many blings, so many phantom rushes. That's a dieback for Lion, which is slightly problematic, to say the least. Damn, so much hinges on this black hole. If they had that control for Ace, Frost would have been able to click him to death, but as it stands, Ace was able to stay away, get out of that Wookiees command.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now they're the ones looking for a second set of racks. Black hole's still available. There's another buyback too. 20 seconds till Wookiees command. Chasey goes in, tries to deal with PPD. Shackles from the low ground, but no real follow-up. Forcing out these buybacks. Good enough. Now, TFT, they know that they need to do the same. The blink, no lasso though, so instant text comes out, and no Ace walking away in Batroid. There's a bit of help from Frost. Black hole, this time it catches Ace. As the Wookiees come out to follow, they need to bring down this PL. The lasso just for safety. And they did it indeed. This is really all this game is. Ace gets black holed, it doesn't get cancelled. Final Tribe win the fight. He doesn't, NiP win the fight. That's what this game is going to come down to in the future as well. We're in that late game situation, 46, 47 minutes in.
Dire's bottom shrine.
Now
is
Final
under
Tribe, it's
attack.
their turn to push across the map, force out a few buybacks. Maybe NiP give up the mid-racks considering that they already got them on the other
Dire's
side
bottom
already.
shrine has fallen.
Might not be a big priority for them to save it. And
Dire's
actually,
middle
oh,
barracks
there's a
are
single
under
range creep.
attack.
That'll do the trick. So they're gonna give this up to try and hold on to the buybacks. Final Tribe could potentially
Dire's middle
go for
barracks
top.
has Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
If NiP can hold on to these buybacks, then they're gonna be at an advantage going forward.
Dire's top tower is under
Look at the
attack.
status. I mean, this Frost still holding on to his, but no one else is available on the side of TFT.
Dire's top
And
barracks are
that
under
advantage is
attack.
so important for NiP that they're even gonna give up 2 sets of racks. At least 2 melee
Dire's
racks.
top barracks has fallen. Dire's top barracks
Hey,
are under
Eidolons
attack.
plus the Catapult, they're actually gonna be more than enough to deal with range creeps, range racks by
Dire's top
themselves.
barracks has fallen.
Okay.
Dire's bottom
No
tower
Roche for
is
quite a
under
while.
attack.
Did they use the cheese? I would assume so. Yep.
Dire's bottom tower.
This
has
can still
fallen.
go either way. You look at this gold graph, the entire game. I mean, it was briefly spiking up towards NiP, and then just spiked right back towards the 0 line. So it's like, it's absolutely crazy. This can still go either way, no matter what Dota Plus says. 70%, 30%, yeah, sure, might be. I'm not sure if it accounts for the buybacks situation. Because Final Tribe basically need to win 2 fights, though. If they win 2 fights, they can win the game. If they're, yeah, they're basically if they're after one another. If NiP, all they need to do is win 1 fight, basically. If they win 1 fight with
Radiant's
Ace being
bottom
alive,
shrine is under attack.
basically only need to kill off Frost twice. He has the BKB. He has the buyback. Everyone else has no cooldown.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
Yeah, NiP can still very much win this game. Final Tribe know this, which is why they're sitting up on the high ground. Hanskin way in the back. He has got himself a Shadow Blade. BKB, of course, Aeon Disc
Radiant
too,
are
which I
scanning.
really like. Now the Radiant scan. Not catching anybody. NiP's on the way back out. Ooh, Jesse just short. If there was more vision, he blinks on.
Dire
Catches
are
a free
scanning.
hero. Oh, wow, the Storm actually catches people. What? The hell? I don't think I've ever seen this one. Okay, he jumps into this, but Blink Lasso comes through to keep him in place. Takes a little bit more, takes a little bit longer, but hey, it's an important kill. He still has buyback. Again, everyone has it on the side of the Dire, so it's only 1 step in the right direction, but I don't think I've ever seen a Helm Creep gank solo like that, basically. So far away from the rest of the team. But hey, whatever works, right? Any more items that we missed? NKB, of course, Butterfly. Frost is completely stacked. Jesse with the crits. Bottled in with Rune here. BKB still available. Like, what, 7 seconds though? That's nice.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Era. You got the self to blink, so the GPM talent coming into play. But now, Final Tribe. Could actually put Mega Creeps here. Again, just try and force out buybacks. They know that without Winter Wyvern, NiP is gonna have a hard time fighting. Because they're gonna. It's actually impossible to cancel a black hole at the sun blink. Now, so catching one here into the Woman's Command. That's a big one. Hanskin needs to stay away from the Wyvern. They need to get rid of PPD before it can black hole. Which is why they're gonna get the hell out of here. 2 buybacks is used. Okay, he actually jumps down up the high ground.
Has fallen.
But no, NiP, they're
Dire's
on the
bottom
hunt.
barracks is
Frost.
under attack.
One more BKB, hexed up. Jesse needs to buy himself some space, but Ace is in the middle of that, and he is strong enough. Frost the one with buyback, so this is still fine if the rest of them can get away, but there's Atos's. More BKBs come through from Hanskin. Trying to do for that split BKB TP. I think they're cancel it. The Avalanche will slow him down further. Chessie going for the TP himself. They see him though, but they cannot cancel it. And miraculously, they all get out. NiP. And again, don't get me wrong. Killing off Frost is important. But given the fact that he was the only one who still has buyback, it's not the end of the world for Final Tribe. So even if NiP can push across fast enough and force out that buyback, that would be a different story altogether. But I'm not sure if they will be able to do that. I mean, there's not even a Rex to pressure in mid. It's only 45 more seconds. I think they can probably hold on to that. So in the grand scheme of things, this was one fight for Final Tribe. Again, it's all about these buybacks. They forced out two, and especially this one, PPD, having to buy back with, I think just a few seconds remaining or something. Either way, him buying back gives Final Tribe a new win condition. All they need to do now is kill him off a single time again. Then they need to find a black hole on Ace, kill off Ace. I guess they're gonna have to kill him twice, so maybe it's a little bit more complicated than that, but it's certainly doable. And the other thing is, what the hell? There's just a random gem sitting here. A single Radiant Creep. Clicking away at the melee barracks, it's done 850 health points. Oh my god. Ooh, I wonder if Chessie wants to try and snipe him. Oh, if they could get mega creeps like this would be hilarious indeed. Is he powerful enough? I mean, backdoor should be... It's not back yet. Oh no, there's no backdoor yet. Ah, it's just ticked in. I don't think he's strong enough. No. That would have been amazing if it was just a little bit faster. Backdoor's not there, he gets he gets the drags. But it was not to be. In the meantime, Roche is back up. NOP, I think they scouted this, I'm not sure. Don't have a lot of vision on side of Final Tribe, and they also don't have Fata. He does have a Brutal Tribe though, so he can join the rest of his team. Okay, there's a big creeper. If they're gonna get mega creeps here, unless NiP are able to defend it. Chelsea, he's just going for it. He wants it. This time no backdoor, creeps are close enough, so... Well, he might give his life for it, but not if Frost has anything to say about it. Drops into Wukong's command, and now... Again, it's going to be down to the Winter Wyvern to decide, alright, enough is enough. We didn't find the angle, we didn't find the Winter Wyvern, so we can't really use the black hole. Which means we get the hell out, sacrifice Chessie. Everyone has buyback available again. This was a calculated move, and he actually buys back right now. Because of Roche? Well, because NiP are bound to just go for a death push here. I mean... Up against Mega Creeps, they don't really have the best way to dealing with those. So they kind of have to go for Hail Mary play here now. They're forcing NiP's hand. This may or may not work out. There's not going to be two Chessies, but there's going to be two of everyone else apart from Frost. What the hell? He bought something. What the hell did he buy? I don't know, but there's the BKB. There's the lasso over on the Shadow Shaman, so no wards for this one. Fata running out. Ace needs to get out of the Wukong's man with the double ganger. He will be able to do this. Chessie isolates Bounty off to the side, but that doesn't really matter all that much. Hanskin can still think about the black hole, but PPD off to the side when the Winter Scourge ready to go. So very patient, holding on to it. Ace, okay, somehow he did toss the real one back out of there. I don't know what Frost spent the money on, honestly, but Wukong's still alive. Ace in the middle of all of this. PPD, well off to the side, and Hans... Oh no, that was Zibba going down. It's fine, here's buyback. Meanwhile, the Mega Creeps is starting to pour into the dire side. Frost, oh, Frost? Hello? What?
Double kill.
Frost just dies, there's a black hole a little bit late, gets cancelled immediately, didn't even have the BKB available for it. What are you doing, Final Tribe? Winter's Curse comes through now, locking down Batrider. Oh no, Zibba is dead again. Triple kill for Ace. Don't tell me they're gonna throw this game like this. Chessie needs to get back home, needs to recharge. They do have Fata back there defending. Not sure if he can actually hold against Mega Creeps, but NiP.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Frost just takes a man fight up against Ace, no help available, and he dies. So now it's gonna be down to them to try and slow this down as much as they possibly can. But oh, what? Okay, that was just 33. That was Ace, it would have been different. But he's actually taking quite a bit of damage from the Midnight Pulse at this
Dire's
stage.
middle tower is under
He's
attack.
gonna heal up on the heart though, any moment.
Radiant's
See back
middle
there,
tower
another
has
avalanche.
fallen.
A couple right clicks here, no PPD. And Ace alone, left in front, and is gonna get some help as 3-3 returns. They have no way to kill him here, but they have a way of stopping him from immediately killing off these CFOs. This game will still go on. Can they actually get him here? Oh my god, the Avatar's combo, it's enough!
Dire's structure
Buys back immediately now. Era with the Hex over on Bounty Hunter, but he's steeping back. They can't get rid of the creeps! I think there was a glyph involved, was there? Indeed there was. Cannot get rid of that TP. Hanski in the middle of that. No BKB. Oh, no black hole for 70 seconds. Finish up Shaman again, but Ace, he's just clicking. The wards are in. There's 2 sets of wards. The Ancient is dying, and there's no one that can threaten the one on the other side. It is NiP who are taking this game in the silliest way possible. Even with Frost coming back was nothing. It was not enough. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. TFT, it was their game to lose. Frost just left to his own devices. In their own base, like... He was man fighting against Ace. And all of his illusions. He didn't have any help. Hanskin was there. He could have tried to go for a black hole, even just momentarily, to allow Frost to escape, maybe reset. And also, I don't know what he spent his money on. He had buyback for the longest time, but he didn't have it there. And he didn't use it either. What's the thing? A refresher orb. Must have been in the courier or something. I didn't even see it in his inventory. He actually built a refresher orb. And he spent buyback. I need a few minutes. I need to... I can't. I can't, guys. I can't. This was game 1 of a best of 3 elimination series. I will be back in a few minutes with game number 2, and hopefully I will have collected myself by then. Stay tuned.